Good day, everyone. We are Modula and Podrick.
Let's dig into what is going on in tech and science news.
Let's talk about the year 2025. You might think it's just another year on the calendar, but what if it's not? What if we're living through one of those rare moments in history that's not just a small change, but a profound, ground-up reinvention of our world?
And it's not just a vague feeling, you know? According to futurist Peter Leyden, we are right in the middle of not one, not two, but three massive tipping points. These are world historic changes happening all at once. Any one of them would be enough to completely reshape our society, but all three together, that's a whole new ballgame.
So what exactly is a tipping point? Well, think about how you get a ride. For ages, it was all about hailing a taxi. Then this little app called Uber came along. At first, it was kind of niche, a weird tech thing. And then, almost overnight, boom, everybody was using it. The old system was just gone, replaced. That's a tipping point. And the argument is, we're living through three of those right now. Now, here's the crazy part. As unique and chaotic as this all feels, it turns out American history has this weird rhythm to it. If you zoom out and look at the big picture, you see this really clear, repeating 80-year pattern. A huge crisis, followed by a period of unbelievable reinvention. Just look at this timeline. It lays it all out. About every 80 years, America seems to hit a breaking point, faces some kind of existential crisis, and then has to completely rebuild itself. It happened after the Revolution, then after the Civil War, then again after World War II. And if that pattern holds, well, that puts us right here, right now.
Let's jump in a time machine and go back 80 years to the last big cycle. It's 1945. The world had just dragged itself out of the Great Depression and World War II. I mean, the old ways had completely failed. The political polarization was intense. Sound familiar? There was even a big America First movement back then.
But what came next was this incredible 25-year burst of progress. We're talking about building the entire interstate highway system, using the GI Bill to send a whole generation of people to college, creating the suburbs as we know them, and taxing the wealthiest at 90% to pay for all this massive public investment. It was a totally new America.
Okay, ready for another jump? Let's wind the clock back another 80 years. We land in 1865. The Civil War has just ended. This was, without a doubt, the most violent and divisive conflict in American history. The country was literally ripped in two over two totally different economic systems.
And guess what happened after all that chaos and brutality? You got it. Another 25-year explosion of nation building. The Homestead Act basically gave away free land. Land-grant universities were started to educate regular folks. And get this, 175,000 miles of railroad were laid, stitching the entire continent together. America was reinvented from the ground up.
And you can take it back one more time, all the way to the founding era, when brand new ideas from the Enlightenment were used to literally invent a new kind of country. The pattern is just undeniable. A massive crisis, followed by a total reinvention.
All right, so that brings us right back to our moment. We're definitely in the crisis part of the cycle, no doubt about it. But just like in the past, new technologies are showing up that give us the tools to build something completely different. So let's look at the three huge revolutions that are driving our reinvention today.
Revolution number one. Artificial intelligence. And let's be clear, when tools like ChatGPT dropped in late 2022, that wasn't just a cool new app. Historians of the future are going to look back at that moment as the starting pistol for the age of AI. It's a fundamental change in what humans can do.
The best way to think about it is to compare it to the steam engine. The steam engine amplified our physical power, our muscle, and that created the entire industrial world we live in. Well, AI is about to do the exact same thing for our mental power, for our intelligence. It's an amplification on a scale that's kind of hard to even wrap your head around.
Okay, on to revolution number two, and this one is just as big. It's all about how we power our civilization. We are in the middle of a complete shift away from the fossil fuels that have defined the modern world for more than a century.
Here is the key difference, and you really got to get this. Old energy, like coal and oil, is a commodity. It's a finite thing you have to dig out of the ground. But new energy, solar panels, batteries, that's a technology. And what do all technologies do? They get better, and they get cheaper, consistently. For every time we double the world's production of solar panels, the cost drops by 20%. That trend is absolutely unstoppable.
And now for the third revolution. And honestly, This one might just be the most profound of them all. For the very first time in human history, we can now read, understand, and even rewrite the source code of life itself. To get a sense of just how fast this is moving, think about this for a second. In 2003, it cost $3 billion to sequence the first human genome. Today, you can get it done for about $100. I mean, that's not just an improvement, that's a complete reality shift.
And that ability unlocks unbelievable power. When you combine that rock-bottom price with tools like CRISPR, you now have the ability to cheaply and easily edit the DNA of any living thing. We're talking everything from creating revolutionary new medicines to literally growing real meat in a lab without ever needing an animal.
Okay, so we've got AI, we've got clean energy, and we've got bioengineering. 3 massive, game-changing technologies. But at the end of the day, they're just tools, right? The real question, the much bigger question, is what kind of world are we going to build with them?
Well, let's start with the economy. The system we have now is facing some serious challenges. Could we be shifting towards what some people call sustainable capitalism? I mean, think about it. Decentralized clean energy could create more local wealth instead of concentrating it. AI could help us slash waste from our supply chains. The possibilities are huge.
And what about our political systems? You know, our whole idea of representative democracy was designed for a world of printing presses and horse-drawn carriages. What does government even look like in an age of instant global communication? Could we use AI to help people understand complex laws or build new digital platforms for more direct democracy? It's fascinating to think about.
And finally, let's zoom all the way out to the global structure itself. The nation-state has been the main player for a few hundred years, but when you're dealing with planet-sized problems like climate change or future pandemics or making sure AI is safe, maybe we need new kinds of global teamwork for a planet of 10 billion interconnected people.
So you step back, you look at the whole picture, you've got this 80-year historical cycle hitting its climax, you have these 3 technological revolutions all exploding at the exact same time, and you start to realize this isn't just an upgrade, this is a full-on reboot of civilization. And that leaves us with one last really important question. These moments of reinvention are rare, they're messy, they can be scary, but they are absolutely packed with opportunity. Unlike most people who have ever lived, we get to be here while the next chapter is being written. So the only question left is, what part are you going to play?